Listen up, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything you think you know about Formula One's future. Max Verstappen, four-time world champion, Red Bull's golden boy, the man who seemed untouchable, is now at the center of the biggest transfer saga Formula One has ever seen. And what happened just 11 days ago has turned this from speculation into an absolute feeding frenzy. But here's what the media is not telling you. This isn't just about one driver switching teams. This is about a domino effect that could reshape the entire sport, destroy friendships, and create the most expensive bidding war in motorsports history. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Mercedes is willing to pay Max Verstappen whatever he wants, why Red Bull might actually be happy to let him go, and the shocking reason why this move could happen much sooner than anyone expects. But first, let me paint you a picture of just how insane the situation has become. We're talking about a driver who has a contract until 2028. That's 3 more years, with the team that made him a legend. A driver who's earned Red Bull over $500 million in prize money and sponsorship deals. A driver just 6 months ago seemed as loyal to Red Bull as Lewis Hamilton once was to McLaren. So what changed? What could possibly make Max Verstappen, Mr. Loyalty himself, consider walking away from the team that gave him everything? The answer involves betrayal, family feuds, and a power struggle that goes all the way to the top of Red Bull's empire. And it all started with one man's downfall. To understand where Max might end up, we need to go back to July 9th, 2025. It was a Wednesday morning when the Formula One world exploded. Christian Horner, the man who had been Red Bull's team principal for 20 years, the architect of their dominance, Max's mentor and protector, was gone. Not retired, not promoted, sacked. But here's where it gets juicy. This wasn't just a business decision, this was personal. Remember the Austrian Grand Prix drama, when Jos Verstappen, Max's father, publicly accused Horner of blocking him from the Legends Parade. That wasn't just a family squabble, that was the beginning of a war. Sources close to Verstappen camp tell me that Jos had been building a case against Horner for months. The inappropriate behavior allegations from early 2024, Jos never forgot. The way Horner handled the internal investigation, Jos never forgave. And when Helmut Marko, Red Bull's advisor and Max's biggest supporter, started making comments about being greatly concerned about Max's future, that's when Red Bull's owners knew that they had a problem. Because here's what nobody's talking about. Max knew Horner was getting sacked before it happened. While Red Bull was imploding, Toto Wolff was playing chess. 3 weeks before Horner got the axe, my sources tell me that Mercedes gave Toto the green light for something unprecedented, a blank check for Max Verstappen. We're not talking about the usual 40 to 50 million drivers' salaries. We're talking about a package that could reach $120 million per year when you include the performance bonuses, image rights, and equity stakes. But here's the genius part of Toto's plan. He wasn't just offering money. He was offering Max something Red Bull couldn't: complete control. Think about it. At Red Bull, Max had always been the star, but he's never been the architect. At Mercedes, Toto is essentially offering to build the entire team around Max's vision. Car development, strategy, even personal decisions. Max would have an input on everything. And there's something else, something that makes this move almost inevitable. Mercedes has cracked the 2026 regulations. Multiple paddock sources are telling me that Mercedes' early development of their 2026 power unit is so advanced, so superior to what Red Bull is developing, that it's not even close. We're talking about a potential 50 to 100 horsepower advantage. For a driver like Max, who spent the last year fighting an increasingly uncompetitive Red Bull, the promise of returning to dominance is intoxicating. But here's where the story takes a shocking turn, because while everyone assumes Red Bull is desperate to keep Max, they might actually want him gone. I know that sounds insane, but hear me out. Red Bull is spending approximately $80 million per year on Max when you include his salary, bonuses, and the premium they pay for boiling the car around his driving style. Under the budget cap, that's money that could be used to develop a faster car. Plus, they have Liam Lawson waiting in the wings, a driver who's shown he can win races, costs a fraction of Max's salary, and doesn't come with the family drama. But there's an even more cynical reason Red Bull might be okay with losing Max. According to my sources, Helmut Marko recently told Red Bull's board, Max can meet with whoever he wants. That's not the statement of a team desperate to keep their star driver. That's the statement of a team that's already planning for life after Max. But here's the kicker. If Max leaves for Mercedes and Red Bull's 2026 car is competitive, it makes Red Bull look like geniuses for building a championship-winning car without needing to pay the superstar money. But wait, there's a third player in this game that nobody's talking about seriously enough. Aston Martin. Lawrence Stroll has been quietly building something special. Adrian Newey, the greatest car designer in F1 history, just joined them. They've got Honda engines exclusively from 2026, and they've got something Mercedes doesn't: desperation. Stroll has invested over $1.6 billion into Aston Martin's F1 project. He's built a new factory, hired the best people, and he needs a marquee driver to justify that investment to his shareholders. Industry insiders tell me that Stroll is prepared to offer Max not just money, but equity in the team. We're talking about making Max a part-time owner, giving him a stake in Aston Martin's future that could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Plus, there's a lifestyle factor. Aston Martin isn't just a racing team, it's a luxury brand. Max will become the face of one of the world's most prestigious automotive companies. Now here's where things get really interesting. Everyone's talking about 2026, but my sources are telling me that this could happen much sooner. Max's contract has a clause, and if he's not in the top 3 of the championship going into the August summer break, he can leave immediately. Right now, Max is third, just 18 points ahead of George Russell. If Red Bull's car continues to struggle and Max drops to 4th, he could be in Mercedes silver by September. But even if that clause doesn't trigger, there's another way that this could happen early: contract buyouts. If Mercedes is serious about that $120 million offer, they could easily pay Red Bull $50 to $100 million to release Max early. For a team that's already planning for life after Max, that's found money they could invest in car development. So where will Max end up? Based on everything I've learned, here's my prediction. 70% chance Mercedes in 2026. The money, the car potential, and Toto's master plan make this the most likely outcome. 20% chance Aston Martin in 2026. The wild card that could surprise everyone: if Stroll makes an offer Max cannot refuse. 10% chance stays at Red Bull. Only if Red Bull's 2026 car is genuinely competitive and they rebuild the relationship. But here's what I'm certain of. This decision will be made in the next 60 days. The Belgian Grand Prix at the end of July will be crucial. That's Max's home race, where he'll be surrounded by Dutch fans and where the pressure will be at its highest. The Max Verstappen transfer saga isn't just about one driver changing teams, it's about the future of Formula One itself.